Hello dearies, welcome. I'm Kelly from the Book of Moons and I'm so excited that you decided to join me for my very first video over here on YouTube. I have some fun stuff I'd love to do with you guys that I can't really do over on Instagram, so I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. This first video, I thought we would do a walkthrough of the Tattoo Tarot Ink and Intuition. This one is by Diana McMahon-Collis. There's another one out there that you may have seen, but this one I had never seen before. I came across it in a local shop. I was immediately drawn to the artwork, which is a little more modern than what I normally like in a deck, but it still has a vintagey feel, which I thought was really cool. So I'll be walking through that for the first time and you guys will be joining me. So a note about the technology, I don't have a proper overhead camera set up yet. I have equipment coming, but in the meantime, I had to sort of rig something and I think it works just fine, but the angle's a little funky. Hopefully you'll agree that it works okay. So, but I should have a better one for next time. And let me know if you like this video, if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing or other kinds of things. I thought maybe next week we would do a Q&A. I get so many questions about my decks. So we talk a little bit about that and I'll answer any questions that you might have. So if you do have a question, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below or over on Instagram and I will try to get to it in the next video. Okay, let's get on with it. Thanks again so much for joining me and I hope you enjoy it. Take a look at the Tattoo Tarot Ink and Intuition. It has a large and sturdy box. Keep in mind that my hands I have kind of small hands, but still it's a good size and sturdy box. It's a little book. I don't normally use the little white books. I've been reading for so long now that I just have my own interpretations and am comfortable with my interpretations and my intuition, but I do like to look through them just to see, especially because this one, the minors are Marseille style, so the meanings can be a little bit different. So they're packed in here nice and snug. Thick. It is a thick deck. I really like the feel already. I like it's very kind of papery, which I like. I don't like cards that are too slippery or too glossy. And I love these backs. Backs of cards are important to me, which I know is kind of silly, but I actually do like that. I have to like the back of the decks, and this one definitely fits that bill. So let's put this here. And you'll have to excuse the condition of my table. This is a working table and it gets a lot of use, so I have wax stains and stuff on it, but it's also usually a great little backdrop and I like using it. So okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna go through these. The aces. Love the spider hanging down from this one. So again, we can see that this is a Marseille sort of style. But I really love the coloring. Oh, that's neat with the eye, piercing of the eye, very cool. And then we come to the quartz, this Knave of Swords. Love that. Knight of Swords, looking like he's ready to do battle. Oh, the Queen of Swords. I love her. She is awesome. How badass is she? The Queen of Swords is an important card for me because it's usually my significator card. And for a while I did do Japanese sword arts too. So I love seeing women with swords. This is so cool. And the King of Swords. Fierce looking fellow. Okay, now we're on to the cups. These are more, have a heavy yellow and red, whereas the swords were very blue. So that's interesting. We got the hearts there for the Two of Cups. I like that with the tears. I just love the little details, you know, like the crescent moon in this one and the little hearts. It's like little hints about the meanings within them, but even if they're not overly so. And the 10 of Cups here, you can see there's like a peace sign behind that. And here we have the Knave of Cups. Knight. Oh, another great queen. She's awesome. Love that. The King. Now we're into the Wands, and these look like they have a lot of red. That's pretty cool. I really like these pips. They're really cool. Again, this would be a more advanced deck for someone who's just learning to read, because illustrated pips are easier when you're first learning. But again, I've been reading for so long, and I don't normally interpret. I know Marseille has a slightly different lexicon of meanings, but I don't really pay much attention to that. Again, it's me, the reader, that is making the interpretations, and so I go with that more than what's in some book. So when I interpret pips like this, I'm still interpreting them with the sort of classic Rider-Waite basis, and then my own intuition and experience with the cards built on top of that. So we have the Knave of Wands. Knight. It's fierce looking. Oh, she's great. The queens have been great in this deck. I really love them. They all look so powerful. King of Wands. And the coins. And we have sort of green for the coins. I like the color choices. Oh, this is a great card. 2 of Coins. Wow, very cool with the skull in there. Celtic knot, very cool. Well, this is a very cool Knave of Coins. I like that. Knight. And the last queen, the Queen of Coins. She's pretty cool looking too. Not quite as fierce as the others, but I like her. Oh, look at him. Love that. Okay, so now we're getting on to the majors, and these are going to be backward because that's just how they were in the deck. Sort of a traditional Rider-Waite style world card. Same with Judgment. The Sun. I really love this artwork. I probably have said that a million times, but that's what drew me to the deck. Ooh, the Moon. Yeah, very cool. These are all looking pretty traditional, but just again, just done in a sort of more contemporary art style. And generally, I tend to be more drawn to traditional art styles for decks. I want my deck to look like it's 100 years old. It's one of the reasons I like Pam's Vintage. But as far as modern decks go, this was one where the imagery really did appeal to me. This is quite a powerful death card like that. Like her, look at that Justice. Very nice. I like when the Chariot has that sort of feel of movement to it. In some decks, the Chariot card looks very stable and like it's standing still, and it's kind of not the point. I want my Chariot card to have movement to it, because it's keeping things together. It's moving fast, and it's not a deal breaker for me in a deck, but I do like when an artist pays attention to that. Lovers. Hierophant. Empress. This is an interesting, she's sort of a fiery looking Empress. A lot of times Empress cards are portrayed as green and earthy, with lots of, you know, vegetation and flowers or whatever, but she's got a fiery energy. I like it. The High Priestess. Usually not keen on overly religious symbology in my decks, but you know, it's not a big deal. She's got a little bit of a cross there. This is not my favorite High Priestess card, and I do really normally like the High Priestesses in my decks. It's beautiful, the coloring. I really like the coloring a lot, greens and purples and whatnot. But she's not looking super mysterious. I like her. I have a little bit of an air of mystery. She looks like she's absorbed in her book, and rather than looking at the querent, which I like that sort of, you know, she's challenging you, like, do you want to know? Do you want to come in and learn more? But it's the position of the eyes makes it look vague. She could be looking at you, but I sort of see her as looking down at her book. And then again, the cross has a little bit of a connotation of one particular faith rather than the mysteries of all faiths. But again, I can live with that. Magician, very cool. Fool. Again, very traditional in terms of the overall. Oh, and we're out of order, out of sequence. We've got a few out of sequence cards. The Emperor pairs nicely with the Empress. Again, they're both sort of red, and we've got some wings going on here with the two of them. They pair nicely together, and they're sort of looking at each other. That's cool. Strength. I knew that one was missing. And the Tower, yeah. Devil. Again, sort of traditional imagery here. I like that. Okay, so that is kind of a walkthrough of the Tattoo Tarot, Ink and Intuition. I'll have more details about the deck in the section below, but let me know what you think and if you'd like to see more unboxings or deck walkthroughs. Thanks for watching.